Hey there, and welcome to Clear American English with Michael. I'm Michael, and I'm here to help you master American English pronunciation, improve your accent, and feel more confident when speaking English. Now, if you've ever had trouble being understood, or if you want to sound more like a native speaker, this is the perfect place for you. My goal is to help everyone improve their pronunciation and speak clearly and confidently in any situation. So to help you learn faster, here's my top tip. Put on your earbuds and listen to my videos a few times each week. Why? Because the more you hear and practice natural English speech patterns, the easier it becomes to sound fluent. It's all about building muscle memory, so take me out for a walk and give it a listen. The videos in this playlist will follow a similar structure, but with different scenarios and examples. This way you can reinforce what you've learned and apply the same strategies to various situations. So let's start with something we all do, chatting at the barbershop. When you speak English without using contractions, you might sound too formal or unnatural, especially in casual situations. Imagine walking into a barbershop and saying, "I would like to get a haircut." Sure, it's grammatically correct, but it sounds stiff and overly formal, like you're rehearsing a speech instead of having a casual conversation. Now let's add a contraction. "I'd like to get a haircut." Hear that? It's much smoother and sounds more relaxed. Perfect for a casual setting like the barbershop. Here's another example. Instead of saying, "I cannot decide which style I want," say, "I can't decide which style I want." Or instead of saying, "I will take a trim," say, "I'll take a trim." Contractions are everywhere in spoken English, and using them will instantly make you sound more natural and confident, just like a native speaker. So let's practice. Repeat after me. "I'd like to get a haircut." "I'll take a trim." "I can't decide. Should I keep it long or cut it short?" Great job. Now that you've mastered contractions, let's move on to another key part of sounding like a native American English speaker. Stressing the right words. Stress matters. It's what gives your speech rhythm, meaning, and clarity. Getting the stress right can make the difference between sounding natural and sounding awkward. Let's break it down with an easy example. You're at the barbershop and you're deciding between just a trim and short on the sides, a little longer on top. You want to clearly emphasize that you want short on the sides, a little longer on top. You'd say, "I'd like it short on the sides and a little longer on top, please." This sounds natural because it highlights what's important. Short on the sides, a little longer on top. But if you stress the wrong word like this, "I'd like it short on the sides, a little longer on top, please," it feels awkward and unnatural. Why? Because stressing "like" makes it sound like you're focusing on your preference rather than the haircut itself. And this throws off the rhythm of the sentence. Instead, the right stress keeps things clear and confident. "I'd like it short on the sides, a little longer on top, please." You see how much better that sounds? Stressing the right word helps your message land exactly the way you intend. And when it comes to the barbershop, being clear and confident ensures you get the look you want. Let's try another one. You're deciding between just a trim and something easy to style. If you say, "I'll take just a trim," you're emphasizing that you'd only want a slight cut to clean up your hair. But if you stress the wrong word like this, "I'll take just a trim," it sounds like you're overly focused on the act of choosing itself, which can feel awkward. So here's how to practice. Take a simple sentence like, "Can I get it short on the sides?" and keep the sideburns how they are. Try saying it with stress on different words. "Can I get it short on the sides and keep the sideburns how they are?" You're asking for permission. Can I get it short on the sides and keep the sideburns how they are? You're emphasizing the action of getting the cut. Can I get it short on the sides and keep the sideburns how they are? You're focusing on a specific style as the most important part of your request. So you see how the meaning changes? Stressing the right word helps your barber understand exactly what you want. And at the barbershop, clarity is everything. No one wants to end up with a buzz cut when they ask for just a trim, right? So let's talk about linking words. When native English speakers talk, we don't pause between every word. Instead, we connect them to make our speech flow smoothly. This is called connected speech, and it's a big part of sounding natural in English. Think of it like this. In English, words are like people on a crowded bus. They don't stand apart. They sit close together and even lean on each other. And when you link words, it's like helping them hold hands. This makes your speech sound smooth and connected, just like a native speaker. So let's look at some examples you might hear at the barbershop. Can I get a trim? Often sounds like, can I get a trim? The words get and a blend together into getta. It's like they're best friends. I'd like a shortcut. Often sounds like, I'd like a shortcut. Like and a join hands and become like a. They're a team. Like a. Could I have a little off the top, please? Often sounds like, could I have a little off the top, please? Have and a become buddies, turning into have a. Have a. In everyday speech, native speakers use a tiny sound called the schwa to link words. It sounds like a quick, relaxed or eh. We often use it in small words like a or to. So for example, I'd like to keep it longer on top often sounds like I'd like to keep it longer on top. I'd like to. To becomes t and a turns into They're holding hands. Now let's practice together. Repeat after me. Can I get a little off the sides? Good. I'd like a trim, please. Great. Could I have a fade? All right. If it feels challenging at first, that's okay. With practice, these phrases will start to feel more natural, and soon you'll be chatting with your barber with confidence, clarity, and smooth pronunciation. All right. So you've mastered contractions, word stress, and linking. Awesome job. Now I want to share with you one more key ingredient that'll take your English from good to great and make you sound like a true native speaker. Sentence melody or intonation. Have you ever noticed how native English speakers have a certain rhythm and flow to their speech? It's not just about the words they use, but also how they say them. This natural rise and fall of the voice is what gives English its unique melody and makes the language come alive. Mastering this skill is the secret to sounding like a native speaker and taking your English to the next level. Sentence melody is like the music of English. It's the way your voice naturally rises and falls as you speak, expressing emotion, showing interest, or even changing the meaning of a sentence. Now, there are two main types of intonation, falling intonation and rising intonation. So first, let's talk about falling intonation, which is especially important when talking to your barber. Falling intonation happens when your voice starts higher and then drops slightly at the end of a sentence. It's like putting a period on your speech. It shows that your thought is complete and you're confident about what you're saying. When talking to your barber, use falling intonation. It helps you sound clear and decisive. It makes it easier for your barber to understand exactly what you want. Here are some examples. I'd like a trim, please. You hear that? Gentle downward tone at the end. Just take a little off the top. If your voice goes up at the end like this, I'd like a trim. It might sound like you're unsure asking a question. But with falling intonation, you show confidence and you avoid confusion. You can also use falling intonation when confirming what you want. That's perfect. Keep the sideburns as they are. Yes, I'd like to keep it longer on top. So let's practice together. I'll say each phrase and then you repeat after me. Ready? I'd like a trim, please. Good. Can you take a little off the sides? Good. Keep the back short. That looks great. Do you hear how your voice naturally drops at the end of each sentence? With this technique, you'll sound confident and clear when telling your barber what you want, ensuring there's no confusion and that you get the perfect haircut. Now, let's talk about rising intonation, which is the opposite of falling intonation. Rising intonation happens when your voice goes up slightly at the end of a sentence. In English, we use rising intonation to ask yes or no questions, check for confirmation, or show curiosity or interest. When talking to your barber, rising intonation helps you sound friendly and engaged. So here's some examples. Do you think this style would suit me? See, a slight upward pitch at the end. Can we go a bit shorter? Is it possible to keep the sideburns longer? You can also use rising intonation when double checking something or looking for advice. Does this length look okay? What do you recommend for my face shape? And don't forget, rising intonation is great for expressing excitement or surprise. Wow, it looks amazing. Really? I never thought of styling it like that. So let's practice together. Repeat after me. Do you think this style would work for me? Great. Can we try a different part? Should I use a different product? Wow, I love how it turned out. Fantastic. Remember, rising intonation is a simple way to sound friendly, curious, and engaged when talking to your barber or asking for advice. It helps keep the conversation flowing and ensures you get the information you need for a great haircut. So there you have it, guys. Some simple strategies to sound clear and confident in English, especially in everyday situations like going to the barber shop. So let's do a quick recap. Use contractions to make your speech flow naturally, like saying, I'd like a trim, please. I'd like a trim, please. Stress the right words to add clarity and meaning so you can say, just take a little off the top instead of getting a buzz cut. Link your words to sound smooth and connected, just like saying, what do you think about this style? Use falling intonation to sound confident and clear when telling your barber what you want, like keep the sideburns as they are. And use rising intonation to ask questions or show interest like, do you think this length looks good? Remember, you don't need to be perfect right away. With practice, these tricks will feel natural and you'll speak clearly and confidently in no time. So next time you're at the barbershop, try out these strategies. You'll be surprised by how much clearer and more engaging your English becomes. And if you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips to improve your American English pronunciation and speaking practice. And if you have any questions or want to share your own experiences with using these strategies, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you and learn about your progress. Thanks again, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, keep speaking, keep smiling, and keep enjoying the journey of mastering American English pronunciation.